I'll finish by saying they need a unified field theory of their loss, and only one theory really qualifies, and that is that America is mentally ill.
But what's so funny about that is that they're mentally ill. I mean, this is a mass formation, event that's gone on for 8 years. And what you're talking about, the reason that people are coming out and they're finally, they're finally not afraid anymore, uh, is that the main thing holding all of this kind of illness together was the fear of social retribution, um, the the kind of terror of being labeled something disreputable. But now, not only it's not even a minority point of view. Like this is a popular vote victory, and moreover, it was a popular vote victory of that didn't particularly involve the richest people in the country, right? So there's that element to it as well. And once the fear is gone, it becomes 100 times harder to hold this thing together. There's no way to. It's like a cult, right? You how do you keep a cult together if people aren't afraid to leave it, right?
I think in retrospect that I underestimated the sense of liberation that would spread across the country after a potential Trump win. It, I'm, I'm going out on a limb here, but it does feel like some invisible Berlin Wall fell, and people have rushed over to the other zone. And as far as I'm a coach for freedom, I would say that's a good that's a good tactic. You want to get over to the other side so that they don't have any reason or incentive to rebuild the wall. They realize that all the liquid has flowed to the other end, and it's no use because. Now looking back, I realized that there was more fear, more self-censorship. We talk endlessly on this show about the censorship that comes from above, but we don't talk about the censorship that comes from within. And I think it was approximately 1,000 times as
Oh,
powerful as
no question.
anything emanating from the Stanford Internet Observatory.
No
And
question.
yeah. And to turn that feeling back is pretty damned hard, you know.
Yeah, there's no way to you can't reimpose terror after you've been toppled.
Yeah.
Like and the spell of this thing, the social opprobrium that they kept intact even when they lost the White House, and that was like a crucial part of the whole thing, is that there was never a moment where it was acceptable to say Trump, well, Donald Trump's just the president. Maybe he's a shitty president, but he's the president. You couldn't say that. He was this illegitimate something, Russian agent, criminal, imposter occupying the White House, and anything less than that was normalizing, right? And and
Well,
so yeah,
before the election, we had no feedback mechanism by which to know the true state of American opinion. I mean, they fudged it right up until the moment with their of going to the polls with their polls. So there was really only a sense that maybe there was a lot of support that was hidden, but the silent majority was silent, and the media spoke over it. And now that we have had at least one mirror moment in which we can see the composition of the American electorate, it's striking because they did everything they could to interrupt any feedback loop, which would show you the country as we now know it to be.
and given how strong the pressure was to not uh, give in and show yourself your true thoughts, the fact that the result was even was as decisive as it was is kind of incredible, right?
But I think a lot of Americans knew in their gut this might be their last chance.
Right. Exactly. I felt that way.
Yeah, I did too. I said on this show many times I don't endorse candidates for president, but I woke up on election day and I was on the rowing machine at the gym and I said, I'm going to endorse, because if this doesn't go the right way, you might not hear from me again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I legitimately worried that, because I didn't vote last time. And that was, partly that was just me thinking, look, at least I'm not voting for them. Right.
Right. Right.
But there was so much to be scared of. And, part of it for me was seeing the Center for Countering Digital Hate memos talking about how, yeah, we've got Australia, Canada, the UK, like New Zealand, and all these other countries, and now the only thing we're missing is the US or whatever it is, and yeah, that was another trip to Puckerville. Like, look, it's true. The lockdown is almost complete everywhere else, and it's still not out of the picture that could happen. I mean, I don't think Trump will ever go for it, but there's some mechanism by which that could still pass. I have no idea.
Well, we saw JD Vance today telling NATO that you had better become more committed to free societies if you want our continued linchpin support, and I got to say, it was getting a little weird that all of our allies had ditched this freedom of speech thing for their, bureaucratic control mechanisms. We were holding on to it just barely, and yet we're paying their bills. I mean,
yeah.
we used to invade countries for doing what our allies do now.